Bum 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 bum. The Peter Dislike Show. Bum 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 bum. I'm coming up to the 1 year anniversary of the first time I ever quiet quit. It was June 4th, 2022. June 4th is Alicia Janazzi's birthday. She's the first place winner of Polish Idol Season 1. And I was celebrating her birthday by going on an intermittent fast. And it was the beginning of one of the longest no-faps I ever did. It was, if I remember correctly, day 4 or 5 of that no-fap journey. And her birthday became another inspiration because I used to fantasize about her a lot. And so last year for her birthday, I was going to do no-fap, right? And I was doing intermittent fasting, and I got deathly ill. Because you got to remember where I came from, right? Maybe not so much with the eating anymore, but definitely with the fapping. And also, I was living out of my car at the time, and I guess you could look up the weather for that day. It was not beautiful. It was 90 degrees in Seattle, if I remember correctly. I definitely wouldn't want to live out of my car here in Phoenix this time of year. Okay, so I was tossing and turning in my car, and so I decided to call off work. And see, the problem is that people don't know I live out of my car, right? So I'm not going to say, oh my god, it's 90 degrees, I'm living out of my car. I'm going to make up some other BS kind of excuse, right? Where it really sucks is that I had a colleague, this is at a different job now, I had a colleague who needed me to fill in at this odd hour because she had home repair emergencies. And I didn't think much of it. I was, sure, I'll come in. It wasn't until after I had finished that shift and I went back to my car did I realize, did I just do what I did? I had a colleague who's privileged enough to own a home here in the Bellevue area, must be $1-2 million. I live out of my car, and she needs me to fill in because she has home repair issues. Hey mate, why don't she invite me to her home when it's 100 degrees out there so I don't have to sleep in my car, right? That would make a whole lot more sense than me filling in for her when she has a home repair emergency, right? It was just funny when I thought about it. I wasn't upset or anything. It was just funny how our situation played out. Let's put it that way. I want to point out something about quiet quitting. If your lifestyle isn't the same as everybody else, it's going to hurt for you, right? If you live out of your car, nobody knows it. If your sexual orientation is different, if the way you enjoy your life is very different, a lot of people are not going to relate to you, right? If you quiet quit in order to do something that everybody universally finds fun, like go to a Taylor Swift concert, go to a family member's birthday party, oh my god, anybody could relate to that, right? So that's fine, right? But for me, I love to go stargazing, I love to write computer games. Sometimes, just the other day you guys saw, I kept making mistakes with my bismuth art and I was depressed out of my mind. And I still have to go to work anyway. If I quiet quit over stuff like that, nobody thinks that messing up with bismuth art is like a heartbreak, right? It really is. Sometimes when I have a really depressing moment with the bismuth art, with my computer games, with other things, you know, it's one thing to be disappointed, but there's a pain that comes with it. I can't describe it, but sometimes you would think that, for example, let's say next month I want to go see, or 3 months from now we have a lunar eclipse, right? And I plan it all out. And I travel to wherever I want to go see it, and the weather doesn't play out, right? You would think that's only a mental disappointment, and sometimes I almost feel physical pain from it. It's hard to explain on here. Good luck getting my colleagues to understand that that's the reason I'm not coming in, right? That's a big problem. Now, right now, as I speak, there's a rush to return people to office, right? And what I cannot understand is when we were transitioning back from remote work to the office work, there wasn't a whole lot of appreciation for how much additional work that added to us, right? Not just commuting, but you have to dress up for the occasion, right? When I was working remotely, I can't tell you how many times I showered once a week. can't really do that when you go back to the office. I would imagine if you add up all the overhead of things that need to be done when one works in the office, an 8-hour workday might take more like 12 hours if you really stop to think about it. But there's not a whole lot of appreciation for that, and I think the people sense it, right? Especially if you selectively ask certain people to return because, oh my God, they don't have any lives, right? Unfortunately, I had to deal with that for years now, right? People think that first they thought it wouldn't be a big deal if I got COVID, right? And then they thought, oh, well, what's he missing, right? He doesn't have a family member to take care of. For a time, I was working at a technical college. For a time, I was the only one in there. And even to this day, right, if somebody needs something... I was working at a tutoring center just a couple months ago, and I was the only one who got a split schedule. Now, I understand, yes, maybe I'm the only one available like that, but how about some other favor in return then, right? For example, I'm getting ready to go to a Computer Olympia conference in 2 months, right? Or maybe some stargazing events, right? Compensate that in some way, right? Yes, I was the only one available